Okay, guys, so the MAGA world is collapsing. Trump's whole universe right now is collapsing. The House Oversight Committee released some emails, and some of the Epstein emails that they released say a bunch of crazy stuff. This is, this couldn't get any worse for Donald Trump. So what's going on? There's a couple of emails. I'm not going to comment on all of them because I'm pretty sure you've seen this all over social media. But, a couple of things that caught, my attention right away. First of all, some of these emails claim that Donald Trump kept, he maintained a close relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, because some of these emails claim that they were together for like Thanksgiving or some events in 2017 or, through 2019 or so. So that means that when Trump was president, apparently Trump was lying, because Trump said, I kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was taking my employees and I told him you have to stop doing that. I didn't like it. And by the way, one of these girls that supposedly Trump was referring to, and the girl confirmed it was her, she was under 18 at the time that Jeffrey Epstein asked her to go to work for him. So that means that Trump had employed girls under 18 to work at the Mar-a-Lago spa, apparently offering massages to rich, famous people or whoever went to Mar-a-Lago, which especially around the time that he was president, we know that it's been a lot of CEOs and powerful people from around the world and governors or whatever, presidents, royal people, you name it. So that's one thing. They were still close, according to the emails. Another thing, Jeffrey Epstein claims in one of these emails that Donald Trump, and I'm going to be putting these on the screen so you can follow along if you haven't seen them. He claims in one of the emails that Donald Trump knew about the girls. This is verbatim. Donald Trump knew about the girls. We're talking about probably the biggest pedophile, leader, the mastermind, putting this whole thing together to abuse all these girls, unfortunately, right? We know it's more than 1,000. Some sources say it may be even more than 2,000 girls. And it's weird because according to the FBI now, Kash Patel said under oath before Congress around September, remember a recent hearing that he said that there's nobody, according to the evidence that they have, all the evidence, he said, we have reviewed everything, and according to what I have, and according to what we know, there's nobody else that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked these girls to.
And then when the Trump administration courageously reopened it.
Excuse me for interrupting, but I'm going to run out of time. You've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one?
For the information that we have.
In the files?
In the case file.
Okay.
The main thing here is that Kash Patel said under oath that based on the evidence, everything, all the evidence that they have as of now, nobody else participated. It was just Jeffrey Epstein. But that's a little bit weird because Donald Trump, all of a sudden, like these super awful, bombshell, damning, emails come out. And Donald Trump all of a sudden wants to order the FBI and he wants to order the DOJ, Pam Bondi, to start investigating Bill Clinton and a bunch of 5 or 6 other names and even some institutions that he said, I want them to investigate now in relation to Jeffrey Epstein. And I was like a little bit lost for a second. I'm like, okay, Trump, what are you saying? What the fuck are you saying right now? I thought you were telling the country just, for the past, 4 or 5 months, if not more, that we should just turn the page, that it's time to move on, that only stupid people are still talking about the Jeffrey Epstein case. I thought you wanted to move on, but all of a sudden these emails come out that show you in connection, still linked and participating, hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey claiming that you spent hours. In one of these emails, Jeffrey Epstein is also claiming that Donald Trump spent hours with one of the victims. Another email is saying that Donald Trump, obviously he knew about the girls and Jeffrey Epstein had leverage because he was going, Trump was still running for president. This is apparently around 2015 or so. And, Michael Wolff was telling Jeffrey Epstein, hey, let him just hang. CNN is going to ask him if he has a relationship with you, if he knows you, if there's something between you guys, with Trump, between Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. So why would these people be talking Epstein with Wolf, talking about Trump's answer that, CNN was going to ask him about him, being close, or if he knew Jeffrey Epstein, and questioning how Trump was going to answer. Even Epstein even said, he was asking Wolf, like, what should the answer be? If we could give him, like a prepared answer, have it ready for him, what would that look like? What should that say? And that's when Michael says, just let him hang. Use this to your advantage. If he denies knowing you or being on the plane or being in your house, now you're going to have power. That's obviously very, very, very negative for the president, because there's a reason Trump is being so focused and determined to hide these files and to prevent the release of these files. I think Donald Trump has a lot of explaining to do, and this may be why he is suddenly asking the Department of Justice and the Justice Department and the FBI to just go after people, because maybe he just wants to switch the narrative. If we can get some people indicted suddenly, or at least investigated, their homes raided or so, then maybe we can get away from Donald Trump blowing Bubba, right? Or Donald Trump spending time at Jeffrey Epstein's house with this girl for hours. Or, Donald Trump knowing about the girls and Jeffrey Epstein knowing that he was going to be asked by CNN if he knew Jeffrey Epstein, and that, Michael Wolff was saying, you're going to have leverage if you just let him hang. And then there's a bunch of other emails that also came out saying that apparently Jeffrey Epstein was saying that Donald Trump was, just an asshole, that he was just an awful person or whatever, that he was just unbearable. This is completely humiliating. This is unbecoming of a United States president. And the fact that now we know that based on these emails that seem to be legit, that Donald Trump was lying. We know that he was lying about how, still being close to Jeffrey Epstein, lying about saying that he never knew anything about the activity. Now we know based on the emails that Ghislaine Maxwell was also lying, saying that Donald Trump didn't know anything. In a moment in time where, the economy is collapsing, Donald Trump just literally removed tariffs. Prices are skyrocketing. Prices are soaring, and the economy is not doing good. And he's getting a lot of pushback now from his own party. He's getting a lot of pushback when it comes to the media and all the polling, even though he tries to deny and say everything is fake news and so on. But he knows right now the country is collapsing, and we have people that, still hadn't, gotten SNAP benefits, and people still haven't recovered their job. They were fired because of the shutdown. Trump wanted to use them as political pawns to put pressure on the Democrats. So if you don't reopen the government, we're going to start firing people. If you don't reopen the government, then we're not going to pay SNAP. If you don't reopen the government. So it's always about inflicting pain. And now that they reach an agreement to reopen the government, now they're saying, well, if you want to extend the ACA benefits, the subsidies, then you're going to have to agree on some additional restrictions on abortion. So now they want to go after women again. So now it's not about just helping the people in need. It's not about helping the people that can't pay healthcare, because it's going to skyrocket and it's going to cost a lot, and it's going to cost people to die, 50,000 people per year, according to recent research. This shouldn't be happening, guys. So anyway, I want to read your comments. Leave your comment. And I'll be back soon, one day. Who knows when? I host a Spanish podcast, and that keeps me quite busy. And I also help Brian Tyler Cohen with his Spanish, channel too. So that keeps me busy. But I want to see if I can do my best to be here with you guys and just bring some content to my English channel at least once or twice per week if I can, maybe even more. So I'll keep you posted. For the time being, thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Let me know if you believe that this is all bullshit, right? That these emails are fake or whatever. But I want to read the comments. I want to see if you guys, I don't know, think the same way that I'm thinking, or you see it the same way. If you're still supporting Trump, even though he blows Bubba, even though he spent hours with a girl at Epstein's house. Apparently he knew about the girls, according to Epstein. And apparently they were still close even when he was president. So if all these emails are actually legit and true, and accurate, like I said, Trump has a lot of explaining to do, and probably it's time for you to move on and just be a Republican. But don't be MAGA. Don't be MAGA. Don't be a Trump supporter. So anyway, that's it for now. I'll see you in the next episode. Take care, and thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.